chip, 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 chip. How many times have you seen a motion design clip and thought, yeah, I can do that. And then you open up After Effects and suddenly you forget what a shape layer is. Yeah, same. Today I'm gonna show you 3 motion design effects that are super trendy right now. And a quick shout out before we jump in, the project files are on our Patreon down below in the description. Let's go. So the first effect is a personal favorite. We're making a fake 3D box with shape layers. And once you have this setup, you can reuse it for so many things. First things first, create a new composition like we always do. Then create a shape layer. This needs to be a perfect square. So grab the rectangle tool and draw it. And then open the shape layer. Go into Contents, open the rectangle pad, and in the size property, make sure the width and height are exactly the same. Now you have a perfect square. Now here's the important part. We don't want a filled 3D box. We want a wireframe box. So we're turning this square into an outline. You can do that in the Properties panel on the right or up top. Just disable the fill and enable the stroke. Make the stroke a nice visible color, whatever you want. Now, before we duplicate anything, make the square layer 3D. Click the 3D layer checkbox, and if you don't see that column, hit toggle switches/modes down here until it shows up. Next, we're gonna adjust the anchor point, and this is the thing that makes the whole box build super clean. We want the anchor point to sit in the top left corner of the square. You can do it manually with the Pan Behind tool, but I'm using the Motion plugin from Motion Design School because it makes this stuff stupid fast. I'll leave a link down in the description, by the way. Once the anchor point is in the top left corner, duplicate the layer, Ctrl D or Command D. Now open the rotation properties and rotate the duplicate 90 degrees. Depending on which rotation axis you use, you'll see it fold into place and boom, you already have a corner of a box. Now we repeat that same logic. We keep changing the anchor point to the side we want to hinge from. Then we duplicate and then we rotate. The reason we keep moving the anchor point is because it's basically acting like the corner joint of the box. If the anchor point sits on the correct side, your rotations become perfectly precise and your corners line up like butter. So you keep doing that until you've built the full wireframe box. It's literally just duplicate, move anchor point, rotate 90 degrees and keep going until it looks like a cube. Now for the fun part, we want to animate the box. Instead of animating 6 different layers like a maniac, we're going to control everything with one null. With the Motion plugin, I select all my box layers and hit the Create Null button. And boom, it creates a null controller that's linked to all of them. Now I can just rotate the null and the whole wireframe box spins together. Way cleaner. And now the extra spicy trick. Let's say you want a certain effect only on one side of the cube, like blur, glow, invert, even those trendy glass effects. Easy. Duplicate the shape layer that represents that side. On the duplicate, give it a solid fill instead of a stroke. Then turn that layer into an adjustment layer by enabling this little adjustment icon. And now anything you put on that layer affects everything beneath it, but only inside that filled shape. So you can do some really cool localized effects. Like one face of the cube is glassy or glowy, while the rest stays wireframe. Now, one very important thing though, to really make this wireframe cube feel good, put something inside the box. Just add an object in the middle. With the new update, you can add a 3D object if you want, or keep it simple and put the text in the center. The moment there's something inside, the whole effect has much more punch because the cube actually feels like it contains something instead of just being an empty outline. And now something else that can give your animations more punch. The Storyblocks plugin. In here you'll find stock footage made by real life artists straight in Adobe After Effects. All you need to do is click the download button and boom, my video is in my project panel. You can type in a keyword, for example drone footage, and look at these beautiful cinematic shots all made by real humans. Again, they're not AI generated slop like on most stock libraries nowadays. You'll get unlimited downloads of diverse and high quality media for one predictable subscription cost. Storyblocks has everything you need in one place. 4K HD footage, templates, music, sound effects, backgrounds, and images. It gives me unlimited content that I can use to test and create videos exactly like this one. The footage in this video is from Storyblocks. I use stock footage all the time to enhance the story I'm telling you guys. You can choose a monthly or annual plan, no hidden costs or extra fees. Anything you download is 100% royalty-free, pre-licensed, and of course, ready to use. No need to worry about legal rights or copyright claims or anything like that. To get started with unlimited stock media downloads at one set price, head over to storyblocks.com/After Effects Basics, or just click the link down below. Alright, effect number 2 is the liquid morph effect. You see it anywhere nowadays. It's that gooey merge where shapes touch and they become one. Step 1. We need a solid background so the morph reads clearly. So create a solid color background. Any color works, but keep it simple so the effect stands out. Now we need our base animation. This can be anything, text, shapes, whatever. Create the objects you want to morph and animate them moving toward each other or intersecting, like two circles bouncing into each other or a blob drifting into another blob. The key is they need to get close enough that they overlap or almost overlap. And since we're being trendy, let's throw some gradients on your shapes. Because in 2026 everything is gradients, glow and noise. Now step 2, the actual liquid morph effect. Create a new adjustment layer and place it above your animated layers. On the adjustment layer, add Gaussian blur and crank the blurriness up. It needs to be high enough that the shapes blend together into one soft blob. Now it's going to look like a blurry mess, so we tighten it back up. Add simple choker to the same adjustment layer. Increase the value until the shapes become sharp again. But nothing is happening, and that's because we first need to pre-compose all our blob layers. So select your shapes and your adjustment layer, right-click, pre-compose, move all attributes and hit OK. And now we've got a liquid blobby look. On that pre-comp, we add a layer styles to create a fake 3D look. Right-click, go to layer styles and choose bevel and emboss. Tweak it until it looks like it has depth. And of course, enable noise. And if you want, you can add glow too. Just a subtle glow, and slightly increase the glow radius to soften the lighting. And now for the last one. This one is super fun and it looks insane with almost no effort. A color gradient echo. So I have this line animation. I made it with trim pads. Super simple, but this can be anything as long as it's animated or moving. Text, a cutout image, a shape, whatever. First thing, duplicate your animated layer. The bottom copy is going to be our echo trail. So select the bottom duplicate and add the echo effect. Now for settings, you can copy mine and then tweak it later if you want. I set the echo times to -0.006. The number of echoes goes to around 70. And the decay I lower to around 0.90. And boom, you now have this trailing echo that follows your animation. And now we're gonna add the styling. First, the roughen edges effect. Now, in this effect, set the edge type to photocopy color. Then lower the border value to around 5 and lower the scale value to around 10. This gives the trail a more textured graphic look. Now the main event, the 4-color gradient effect. Add that and choose your colors. And you can position each color point wherever you want, so you get full control over how the gradient spreads through the trail. Now add curves and pull it down into a ramp shape. This gives the trail more contrast and a cleaner gradient look. And last step, we pre-compose everything again and throw a glow on it. Optional, but it usually feels more polished. And you can also add noise if you want, it depends on the look you're going for. And that's it, you are a step closer to being a motion design master. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below which one of these you're gonna use in your project first. And of course, if you want to download these project files, check out Patreon down below. If you want to learn more, click the video right here on my left. Thank you guys so much for watching.